for losing purpose.
Losing purpose.
And when you have responsibility and then you're in adulthood and then that's it.
So although you're tired, you still have this strength in you.
Things let your manager know, let your mentor know.
I may have fallen asleep in the library at some point.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Zara, also known as Zara, and I'm joined by a couple of guests who are going to be talking about our experiences as healthcare workers and also fasting during the month of Ramadan. So Ramadan is a beautiful time of the year. It is when Muslims across the entire world come together for 30 days and we ultimately are fasting. We fast when the sun is rising and to the time when the sun sets. And it is according to the lunar calendar cycle. Everyone is, I would say, hopefully quite excited for this month. It's a time where we also not just focus on fasting, but we look between self-reflecting and thinking about our actions, thinking about things that maybe we shouldn't be doing, but we're just being more self-aware of that. Practicing more about charity, and yes, just really taking the month as it comes. So we're all going to be sharing our different experiences and what we do during this month as healthcare workers. So let's start off with a couple of introductions.
Hi, Assalamu alaikum. I'm Hana, and on Instagram I'm known as Pharma Drama. I'm a junior on-call pharmacist working in a hospital in the Midlands.
I'm Yusra. I run Life of a Practice Nurse on Instagram, and I am a practice nurse based in Leicester.
Hi, I'm Aylin. I'm a practice nurse based in London and my Instagram is nursing with Aylin.
We're going to go through a number of topics, all focusing around our experiences as healthcare workers and also fasting during the month of Ramadan. So let's get right into it. Studying during the month of Ramadan. So I believe we all actually finished our degrees roughly around the same time. Nursing degrees are of course the 3-year degrees, and I think that it's roughly about 4 years for you. Yeah, 4 years. And during that time, of course, we are studying our degrees. We've got a number of exams, a number of assessments, placements, of course. How did you guys balance studying during the month of Ramadan?
As Zara said, pharmacy is a 4-year degree, but then we have a training year. And so when I did my degree and Ramadan came, it was actually really nice for me because I had a close group of Muslim friends. So we would all stay up till Sehri together and study together, and then eat to start our fast together. We'd all have iftar and then we'd all study afterwards. So it was actually, we had that kind of family dynamic, but we were also all revising together. So that was really nice. But in my training year, when I was preparing for my registration exam, that was more difficult because then I was at home and I was studying on my own and fasting, so I definitely found that quite challenging, like fasting, studying and working, which I'm sure you guys can relate to in your degree.
What about you, Aylin?
Yeah, I had friends support as well. During my studies I was also always in the library studying with my Muslim friends, and they were fasting alongside with me, and I used to stay at home, so it was easier, and I had that family support as well. Yeah, I think it was quite...
Family support, and I think having that support around you or being around individuals who are also fasting, I think it does really help. Absolutely.
I think in Ramadan it's just a completely different vibe anyway. So for me, I was staying up and doing assignments after Sehri, so although you're tired, you still have this strength in you. It's just a nice time because you're awake, you've eaten, you've prayed, and you're just getting on with it until maybe early hours of the morning, have a bit of a nap, and then obviously get on with your day as well later on. So I think it's a nice routine that you just kind of get into.
Yeah, and I think at university you're kind of able to just sort of change your routine and work with the Ramadan times and fit your studies around that. So I think, and like you said, when you have friends who are also doing that, it really helps. And like following on from what you were saying about Ramadan being like a whole different vibe, I definitely try to like go on Instagram less and procrastinate less.
Be more conscious of it, essentially.
Yeah, more conscious, more focused. And obviously you're doing that for like the Islamic benefit, but it does seep into helping with studies and revision as well.
Absolutely. I think Ramadan, I don't know about you guys, but like in Ramadan, there's like a whole different set of rules. It's like everything that you had done previously before that point was very difficult, but now, like, I would not usually stay up late in the night to study. I'm definitely someone who stays up during the morning, or like I'm like a morning person. But in Ramadan, it's like the whole cycle kind of flips as well, and that's part of it as well. You are changing your routine to fit this new month and what it presents with as well. So I think, yeah, you take a little bit of, it comes with these, a little bit of mindset as well, maybe a little bit of Ramadan superpowers with it as well, a bit of inner strength.
I was gonna say that also, like, my favorite phrase is failing to plan is planning to fail. So if you know you've got an exam coming up and you've got Ramadan before that, plan that into your revision. Like, know that you're not going to be able to take on as much revision as you probably would do when you're eating normally, and like make sure that you've given yourself enough time to take breaks.
Don't leave it all last minute and just before iftar when you're like hungry, tired out at that point.
Yeah, and it's a whole month of studying, so you want to make sure you've got that. You've got enough planned into your revision schedule, but not too much that you start getting stressed out about it.
Definitely, and if you're on placement and things, let your manager know, let your mentor know that you're fasting, and they could, you know, show some understanding and, you know, give them your prayer times and, you know, just talk them through what you do very fast. And I think it's much.
I like a little reference there to the last Instagram live series that you did. Hannah also, she just basically quoted herself there. I think we need to take a look at your notes as well. I can imagine, like, she's not just got one calendar, she probably has like a calendar for a calendar.
Yeah, so many plans, dates, or diaries.
You can never be too prepared. There you go. But yeah, so essentially planning, making sure you're communicating, surrounding yourself around the individuals that you've got a similar mindset, and I think within that it creates the, you know, that studying vibe that you need to also do, because you're studying for your degree, though you're going to spend a lot of hours also got exams coming up and so on, and naturally your body's going to be more tired. Naturally you are going to want to, you know, we have coffee breaks, we have water breaks, but we don't have that during the month of Ramadan. So do think about how you're structuring your day, and yeah, inshallah it will go well. Alright, so balancing sleep. In Ramadan, it depends on which time of the year it is. You could fast, you know, up to 8, 9, 15 plus hours. I think this year, how many hours are we looking to fast?
Is it 16?
16 hours. Maybe a little bit more. 16 hours. So that's obviously a very, you know, it's a large portion of the day, but sleep is a really big factor in it. You are switching your cycle, you are essentially up during the night and during the day. If you're working or if you're studying, you also need to be up for that as well. Ramadan is a time where we actually are encouraged to do a lot of night prayers. We are encouraged to spend more time on reflection, more time with our prayers, more time doing good deeds. So how did you guys balance sleep during this time? And you don't, essentially you don't. No, of course. Yeah, so how did you guys balance sleep and also working as well? Because we're all now registered healthcare workers. So is there anything that you guys did to try and find that balance?
I think every time I knew that I was going to get up during the night, if I had some free time, I would take a nap.
We like
that
naps.
would really help.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely. So one thing that I have done previously is with speaking to my mentor in advance and speaking to my ward manager in advance and actually requesting for night shifts. That has really helped me. I find that because the whole cycle is shifting, working during the night, I'm able to kind of eat during the night as well, able to do my prayers, but doing long shifts I've really struggled with, and also fasting. I don't know about you guys.
It's going to be the first year, isn't it, that you're not going to be doing long shifts in Ramadan?
Yes, this will be the first time I'm actually doing normal people's hours and actually fasting during the month of Ramadan, which actually I'm not too concerned about because obviously previously I've done long shifts. But yeah, what do you guys
The
think?
downfall of it too, like working Monday to Friday. I mean, it's fine you can recover on the weekend, but for me, finishing at 6 o'clock, it was very tough to get a nap in between. So when you come home, obviously you shower, get freshened up, you pray, do everything, and then help prepare as well. So there's limited time in that. So I think it's hard as well. You probably end up feeling a little bit more tired working Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
But recovering on the weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's quite a mixture. Obviously nursing shifts historically have been like long day shifts and nights and so on, but then there's also a mixture of shifts which are like working every day or on calls or so on. What about you, Hannah?
Yeah, so I need a lot of sleep. I need like 9 hours of sleep, but alhamdulillah, I sleep quite quickly. So for me, it's like taking as many naps as possible. When I was studying for my exam, I may have fallen asleep in the library at some point. But like, because I think Ramadan was like literally a couple of months before the exam, and it was a really intense time. But when you're fasting, you're even more tired than normal. And I think I can vouch for most NHS staff that none of us get enough sleep as it is.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You want sleep?
Wrong profession.
Yeah. When you're at uni, it's easy because you can kind of just change your whole routine and get that sleep in. I think sleep hygiene is really important. So when you do know you can get those like good few hours, making sure you kind of optimize them and go to sleep as soon as you can. Like avoid
if you can fall asleep.
Trying to make the most of the time you have to sleep.
Taking annual leave during Ramadan. So when you're a student, you'll have time allocated within the year that you'll have to study or take time off. But when you're working, you have annual leave and you have responsibility, and then you're in adulthood, and then that's it. Then you realise how nice having half term was once upon a time. But you have to take your annual leave essentially throughout the year. And I like to use a lot of my annual leave during the month of Ramadan, particularly within the last 10 days, and also within the first week post Ramadan as well, kind of like a bit of recovery time. Do you guys use your annual leave during the month of Ramadan? Do you kind of use that consciously as well?
Sometimes, yeah. I think when there's enough staff and you request it early enough, you're able to do that. I utilise my annual leave during Ramadan a lot. Yeah, it really helped.
Yeah,
definitely.
For me, it'll be my first time fasting whilst I'm on call. So I've not had to like do it before, like whereas you guys have and you've thought about it. So actually, that's like a good piece of advice for me. I should really start like
annual leave.
I was supposed to take it this time, but because I work with other Muslims and they'd taken it off beforehand, so I need to be faster at that. Make sure you plan it out, and request it beforehand.
Yeah, that's actually something I prioritise. I'm literally like, when you get your new renewal of annual leave, and I'm like, okay, that is the time that I allocate for it. But everyone is different. I know some individuals that actually take half days if they're able to do so, or they actually take 1 day off per week. So if you're working shift work and you're allocated to work about 3 to 4 shifts in a week, if you request to have at least maybe 2 shifts in a week, then that way you're spreading out your annual leave rather than taking it in big chunks. Everyone is different. See what works for you. You may not want to take it, you may want to take it. I think that taking it is a good time, and it's also good post Ramadan when you have that bit of rest period as well. So I do think, but everyone's different.
Make sure you book your Eid leave.
Oh my gosh, absolutely, and book Eid. Yes, we've got 2 in the year, so make sure you get both. Yeah, absolutely.
All Muslims can't, literally can't. It's so difficult. Even on Eid, we all have to go in for 2 hours each minimum.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, because you're all Muslim and you can't shut it down.
What do you do? Like go ready for Eid and like go in?
Can you imagine going in on Eid with like your suit on? I like it. Is that what you do?
Yeah, and then obviously try and get it up, sleeves up and stuff. But there's not many patients that come in. It's only like INRs and like emergency urgent bloods and stuff, But it's a different
thing.
Yeah,
nursing staff, like it's just always on the low.
I think it does depend on which area you work in. I think definitely in community you've got obviously a different type of workforce and so on. When you're working in a hospital, I think it's really just about getting in the annual leave, and if you've got a really supportive manager as well, like you literally, like I literally played the card, like listen, it's Eid. Yeah, come on now. You want Christmas? I want Eid. So guys, if you could share one piece of golden advice for anyone who's watching this, perhaps you are a student nurse and it's going to be your first time fasting and working on placement, or perhaps you've got some exams coming up, or perhaps you're a registered healthcare worker and it's a new year, it's a new job role for you, what would you guys share? What would be your take-home message?
Don't overthink it. Enjoy it, embrace it, Ramadan at work. Make life easier for you. So if you can take little dua booklets or something at work to practice, a little Quran that you can keep with you at work. If you can't come home for lunch, or if you're wondering what you'll do at lunch because you normally eat, find something to occupy yourself with. That would obviously be a form of ibadah as well. Make it easier for you. So if you have my favourite, a pocket prayer mat, keep it with you on the ward instead of trying to get to the prayer room, which will waste a lot of the time. Not waste, because obviously you are going to pray salah, but it might not be near your ward. So if you have a prayer mat with you, it's a lot more easier.
Mine is always planning. If you've got exams, plan that revision beforehand. Make sure you're not overwhelming yourself. If you're working, then plan when you can sleep, plan what you're going to do in your lunch breaks. like get organized, prepare yourself before Ramadan, and you know, if you've got the right intentions, then that in itself is a reward.
Definitely, and communication. Obviously, communicate with your colleagues before Ramadan is coming up, and try to negotiate on your leave with other staff, and just plan out your diet and things, because carbohydrates would make you less energetic.
So true. Yeah. Absolutely.
Everything.
Yeah, don't be afraid, speak to your mentors, and you know, they're really understanding most of the time.
Yeah, and I love everything that you guys have said. I would say enjoy the month. It is honestly the most beautiful time of the year. It is a time where you really can just reflect, where you get to do things differently, and of course, like, it's really about connecting with Islam. It's all about improving. It's about being around people that you love and know, and doing exactly the thing that, you know, as Muslim girls and boys out there as well, that we enjoy practicing our religion. So enjoy the month, take every day as it comes, and yes, next thing you know, it'll be Eid, and then you'll be celebrating.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
You deserve it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, girls, for joining me, and thank you all for watching. I will see you guys in my next video. Take care and stay safe. Bye-bye.